Hello, this is Tony Pillow. This is my video for skills. We are going to be changing a dressing today, aseptic technique, and let's get started. Knock, knock. Hello, Mr. Pillow. How are you doing today? No relative. Oh, you're doing pretty good? Well, that's good to hear. My name is Tony Pillow. I work at Southwest Tech, and I'm going to be working with you today. I think we're due for a dressing change. I'm going to check, okay? Okay, good. Let me look at the doctor's orders here. Let's see, Mr. Pillow, what's your first name? Okay, good, good. And your date of birth? Okay. Any allergies? Okay, sulfa? Okay, good. Or not good, but that helps to check the records here. Let me see your armband. Okay, very good, very good. Yes, we definitely got the right thing here. You're due for a bandage change. I'm just going to set this down here. First thing I'm going to do is maybe we'll just give us a little privacy here so we can work. Okay, very good. I'm going to put some gloves on here. Now, these first gloves here, they're not sterile gloves, but they are clean. Before I do that, I'm just going to wash my hands here real quick. Actually, before I even do that, I'm going to raise the bed. Make sure we get it up to the proper level of workout. And then I'll wash my hands. Alright, we're going to get some gloves on. Okay, sir. I see from your charts that you got some pain meds here about half an hour ago. They seem to be working at all. Yeah, a little better. See, so it feels like on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself right now? A 2? Okay. Yeah, that's better than what we had charted before. Do you think you feel good enough to go ahead with the procedure? Okay, good, good. Well, let's get it done. It'd just be better to keep them things clean. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to expose this area here a little bit, and you don't need to see that unless you really want to. Keep you covered up as much as possible. It's chilly in the hospitals, and there's no people don't need to see this any more than what we have to expose. What I'm using here is a push-pull method, is what they call it. I'm just going to give your skin some support as I pull up on the bandage. Okay, so as not to hurt your skin. Alright, good. And reach underneath here. I'm checking for smells and things to look at. Make sure things are healing okay. Okay, so I see we got the lower pad here, the under pad. We do have some serous fluid, which is perfectly normal. But I've got to document that, and what we do is we just keep record to see how well you're healing. So this one's pretty obvious. It's quite round, so I'm just going to say it's got a diameter of about 4.5 centimeters. And we are soaked through the first pad, but not into the second pad. Okay, very good. So we're going to clean that up and redress you now, okay? Yeah, serous fluid, 4.5 centimeters. I'm going to record that over here. Alright, I don't really need to touch that, so I'm just going to take that right off with my glove, and I'll make sure my glove wraps it up right with it. But that whole works over in this hand. Actually, I'm just going to drop that. Didn't quite wrap the way I wanted to, but we're all good. And we'll take this off here. Okay, very good, very good. I'm just going to wash my hands. And we'll get started on my sterile field over here. Okay, for sterile field I need to do a couple of things here. The first of which is to get a package. This package comes from our sterilization unit, and I just want to make sure this is I'm going to lay this cloth down that's sterilized. So we got to open that package in a way so we don't touch the cloth. Right? First thing I do is check for the integrity of there's a seal on there. Okay, so we're just doing that, and that looks fine. I'm going to tuck that underneath like so. I'll tuck that underneath like so. And I'll grab her here. I don't have anything exposed yet, so I'm not really concerned. There it is right there though. No, I really don't want to reach over that. What I do want to do is just kind of hold this up over waist high and find a corner. And here's a corner right here. That outside inch I can touch, but I really don't want to touch more than that. So I'm just going to drop that in there. Here's another corner. Good. And we're just going to lay this over our field. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I got to get my equipment on there. Okay, let's do the bowl first. Same thing, I check for the seal. grab this from underneath like so. Seal's intact, in good shape. I'll pull that over, tuck that in my palm. This over here, and this over here from underneath. Okay, good. I'd really like that to go on that serial field upright. So I'm just going to take this over and hold it with 6 inches, and I'm just going to drop. And that's good. We're within 1.5 inches of the edge. The edge is actually what we count when we have that draped over. We're okay. A little leaning. I'd like to maybe adjust that later, but we're okay for now. Okay, forceps, same deal. Check that seal. Pull that. This one's a little tougher. We got to almost roll that. But as long as we don't see that piece of equipment, we know we're getting a good. It's staying sterile for us. There's a tab here. Tab here. Don't see the equipment yet. Unrolling that. Okay, good. And we're just going to drop that. And we got that in the field okay. Okay, we've got our forceps. We've got our bowl. Next thing is we're going to start putting pads in there, alright? Here's my pads. You're just going to take a step back and open that. And then I'm going to line that so I can make a clean drop on that. Like so. Take a step back and I'll open my gauze sponges. Okay, got them open. Step back in. Make a drop. I got my split sponges. Take a step back, open them, step back in. Drop. Alright. So we've got that going on okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to get my saline solution. So here's my saline solution. We are normal saline and sterile, and double check and triple check the date on this. The saline solution is fine, and we're good to go on it. I'm going to open this up, and I don't need very much, and I don't want to touch the inside of that cap. I'm going to just hang on to that with my left hand, and I'm going to pour a little bit, good, with my right. I'm going to cap that right away. If I wasn't going to cap that, the way to set that cap down is to have it setting upside down. Now we'll set that back. Okay, very good. Gloves. Now we got some sterile gloves here. So I am going to open these guys up. I am going to come around here, and then we're just going to place them right like so for now. Okay, good. So the outside of that package is still relatively, well, it's not sterile now, but it's still very clean. Wash my hands here quick, and I'm going to come over here and don these gloves. Now, hopefully I can do this so y'all can see this. Reminds I've got a right hand and I've got a left hand. I am trying very hard not to touch the edge of the gloves. The outside package is just barely touching my edge of my sterile field, but it's on the area. We don't have to worry about that particular area. Expose my right glove, not touching it. I can touch the inside of the cuff here, or excuse me, the cuff itself, until I can slide my right hand into it. And we're working in kind of close quarters here. And I can get my right hand in. And work that down best I can. And I'm on the inside of the cuff. That's all I'm going to do for now. Okay, got my right hand partially on. Open up the left. This I can slip my fingers underneath the cuff where it's going to be sterile to sterile. And I'm just going to slip my left hand in there. working my fingers down. Okay, good. That was good. Now we're sterile to sterile. All right. Okay. So we're sterile to sterile. I got my sterile field. I'm not going to touch that because I know that's not quite sterile, but now I can arrange things on the cart the way I want them to. I've got this over here. I'm going to drop my 4x4s right in there. I'm going to put my splits right over there. Pick up my forceps and I'm going to tent my splits. A little bit easier to get on that way. Okay, good. Good. All right. All right. So I'm going to just dip one of these, grab them with forceps, make sure and get some water in there, and make sure to wring this off. We don't want to have any water drip. All right, I'm going to grab this tube and sacrifice my left hand. And I'm just going to wash around there. Okay, good. Okay, and drop that. And we're going to do that one more time. Now this hand is not sterile. I'm going to get a better grab on that. Okay, excess water, and I'm washing again. And as I clean this off, I'm looking for, you know, any redness. I'm looking for any odd smells. The skin looks good. I'm looking for any pus or anything like that that might be coming out, and that all looks good. Okay, so right now the tweezers is done, so I'm just going to set that off to the side. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my split pad back on here. Got split pad number 1. We're just going to kind of drop it in place. And split pad number 2, we're still all sterile. I'm just going to slide it down. That's still sterile, hasn't touched anything yet. Drop that in place. Alright, very good, very good. Alright, and the final thing I want to do is I'm going to put this bandage on top. I want the blue side up on this. That's going to let me know if this thing soaks through or not. Okay, it's at this point where the top of this pad is not sterile anymore. And we're going to take this on. I'm going to use a window pane type of a taping system, which is just on the corners. Now, a guy could take their gloves off at this point. However, they're still relatively clean, even if you can't say that they're sterile for sure. So I'm thinking if you can work with them on, it might be a little bit cleaner of a situation. Okay. And we might have to, there we go, like so. Okay. Alright, we can cover that up. Put the tape down. And I would clean this stuff up here. Mr. Pillow, is there anything else I can do for you tonight? While I have time. No? Okay then. Okay, well, do you want this open or closed? I'll just open it here for you. Okay. So that's my sterile technique. When we talk about sterile technique, there's 9 things for sure to remember about the technique. Number one is that there's no such thing as sterile skin. Skin is not sterile. There's nothing sterile underneath the waist or below the waist. Water, the only sterile water is the sterile water in the bowl, not once it's outside. Water follows the gravity. So when I hold that tongs or when I hold my thing, I want to be holding that down to make sure that any drips go right back into the bowl until I'm sure that it's not going to drip. We've got the sterile field. There's an inch border around the whole sterile field. Anything inside of that sterile border has to be sterile itself, whether it's sterile hands or it's got to have sterile garb or sterile utensils inside of that. Sterile. We do not turn our back on sterile. field, and we limit the amount of time that that sterile field is open. But most importantly, we got to be honest. If we do break sterile field, we've got to be able to know how to handle the situation and deal with it accordingly. Thank you. That's my video for tonight, and look forward to seeing you all in class. Bye-bye.